today with a senior from Lakeview High School, Miss Mindy Flores, who is going to graduate in the top 10 of her graduating class.
Yes.
She has been a Duke scholar through from the time she was in middle school, qualified for that through high test scores, taking SAT, and she got to do something really special, and that is got to attend our President's Inauguration. But you got to go a little bit differently than some kids from Central.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about how you got the invitation to attend the inauguration, Mindy.
Well, in 2006, I went to the National Young Leadership Conference, also in Washington, D.C., and this past summer, they sent me the organization sent me a letter asking if I wanted to go to the Presidential Inaugural Conference. So, of course, I wanted to go because it was going to be basically whoever got voted in was going to be a big choice. So my parents decided, and I got the funds through fundraisers, and so I was able to go like that.
Did you go by yourself or know some other kids that went?
No, I went by myself. All the plane rides by myself, and as soon as I got to the airport, we got a whole shockwave of 7,000 of us in the conference. I got to make lots of friends the first day, so I basically made about, you could say, around 35 friends throughout the whole trip, because that's how many people were there.
And I believe one or two others from Central did go to that same conference, and to have told us their story. But I want to know why you felt like this has had an impact. What did you learn from not just going to the conference, but being there in our nation's capital at a time the whole world was watching?
Yeah, that was a really good experience. Just knowing that Barack Obama was going to be the first Black president was, like I said, a milestone. So just taking in the sights and being there at a very special time was a good experience.
You weren't afraid of all the crowds?
We locked arms every time we went through the crowds so we wouldn't get lost.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You perhaps made even some lifelong friends.
Mm-hmm.
You have applied to go to Duke University, Baylor, and Texas Tech,
Mm-hmm.
and are waiting for a response from Duke. And
Mm-hmm.
tell us why you would really hope to be able to attend Duke University and what you want to major in.
Okay. Duke, like I said, I used to live in North Carolina, and after touring the campus, it was breathtaking. They had great geography, all the trees and the greenery, and the chapel, which is the main attraction. And I also want to major in computer engineering. I love computers, I guess you could say, just knowing that their capability to process tons of data in like a millisecond is incredible. So.
And you have had a job out at the Texas A&M Agriculture Research Station,
Mm-hmm.
which is an amazing accomplishment. I've only had a very few students in my past get jobs. They're very particular about who they hire, and that says a lot about your work ethic, Mindy, and also how bright you are.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do out there?
I basically help all the workers out there. I help them with their computer needs, like if they need to install like a printer, install software, if they're having trouble finding their drives or finding a certain file, they'll come to me and I'll just go and help them. And also sometimes I go and help with the storage. So, but yeah, usually a lot of people over there, they're not really computer literate.
But they're very smart.
Yes, they are.
They're all highly educated
They
research scientists, and you, the very fact that they would choose you to assist them amongst all their applicants is quite a tribute to you, Mindy.
Yes.
And so you've learned through perhaps that experience that you want to go on and further study computer science when you go to one of these fine universities. You have lived and gone, you've come back to San Angelo. Your dad's a minister, and you have been at Lakeview much of your high school career. You're involved in a lot of things. Talk to us about that.
Well, I'm in the BPA, Business Professionals of America, and I do advanced word processing skills, which I got first place at our region meet.
And are going to state in a couple of weeks, yes.
In Austin, yes. And I'm also in National Honor Society through community service and stuff. And I'm the vice president of choir. I made region this year to choir, and I made state also. And I work. So. Wow.
And held down a job in the summer, also helping to take care of niece and nephew,
yes.
Which is a very hard job. It's easier working on somebody's computer,
yes.
isn't it?
It is. It's a lot more, I guess you could say, easy, and not as mind-blowing as it is taking care of kids. So.
I hear you. Let's now go back to your trip to D.C., which was not your first time to go to D.C.
No.
You had gone 2 years ago to a similar conference, but certainly not to a presidential inauguration.
Yes.
Why was it significant in your life to be in our nation's capital at that time?
Well, like I said, Barack Obama being the first black president was a milestone, and also his background, or his main theme was change, and I wanted to see if he could, or if he is going to bring change to this country, which it needs. And just again, any presidential inauguration is going to be life-changing, because you're able to see from that person just being an ordinary person to becoming your president of the United States. So.
What about the inauguration itself, the ceremony, was the most meaningful to you?
I would have to say his speech after he was sworn in. Everybody was quiet. You couldn't hear anybody speaking unless it was really low. And he's just such a good speaker. He's a smooth talker, I guess you could say. But yeah, it was really cold outside too. So we were able to. In my group, we got to the second jumbotron, which was about a quarter mile away. So we're actually really closer than we predicted to be, because there was 2 million people there.
Your conference, I heard from some other students, had some outstanding speakers.
Yes.
Who stood out to you and why?
I'd have to say Colin Powell, because he taught us so much about how we need to, us being the next generation, how we need to go through our lives doing our best, and just knowing how to have a good work ethic, and just living our lives basically. And also I got to see Archbishop Desmond Tutu. He was also a big encourager too, because he made us realize that even though we're just one person in a sea of people, how God has a plan for us to be all that we can be and do great things.
Wow. You got to hear folks that most of us will never get a chance to hear. Do you occasionally, something will come into your mind that one of the men have said to you that you revisit things that were said in a speech?
What Archbishop Desmond Tutu said, that even though sometimes we may feel like the world is against us, but if we keep our mindset positive, then we can accomplish anything and overcome everything. So basically, whenever I have like a bad day or anything, I'll just remember his words.
Well, both he and Colin Powell overcame a lot to accomplish and have impacted many, many people. Colin Powell, I've had the opportunity to hear him speak and have read lots of books on his life, and am very inspired by what he accomplished for our whole world. And I'm so glad you got to hear both of those men,
Yes, they're good
Mindy.
speakers.
You only have a few months left of school. Are there some things you hope? How do you think you will have left Lakeview High School better because you have attended it?
Well, just knowing that I was able to get a good education. We have good teachers and great programs. Just knowing that I was able to be a part of the class of 2009 is just, I don't know, it's good.
You told me that you have done some community service, and talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, National Honor Society, with them, we were able this Christmas to help an organization through the Catholic Church. I think it's called Holy Angels, and we bought presents for their kids. Their families that we help are needy families. They're either in a relationship or they're not, and they have a kid, or they are in a relationship and they're trying to keep it together. So what we did was we bought presents for the little kids, and one night we served them dinner and watched the kids open their presents. So it was a good experience.
Well, you modeled for other young people at Lakeview having a community heart and giving back to your community, Mindy. It's my pleasure to get to know you, and I want you to let us know which school you've been accepted into, and we're going to follow the success, and we're very proud that you have accomplished and are going to keep on accomplishing great things, young lady.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mindy.